copy. Okay, so we are now recording, and again, good morning. So this is chapter one for your subject, Bio 1101. So chapter one is just a very quick chapter discussion. Mabilis lang to. Basically, what we're going to do here is to see what chemistry is all about. No? What chemistry is all about, and what are the types of chemistry that we chemists understand. No? Yan. Teka lang. Ayan. So, marami kasing uri ng chem. So, later on, I'll introduce you to them. And then, hopefully, you will see chem as a very broad subject, and it can actually be used by many fields in science. No? Okay. So, with that, let's start. This will be our session. So we will start with the definition of chemistry. Why do we even study chemistry? What are the roles of chemistry in our society, and especially to you, and the branches of chemistry? Okay. So basically, chemistry is the study of matter and the changes it undergoes now. So when you say matter, this is anything that occupies space and has mass. So ibig sabihin nun, chemistry is the study of everything, no? Because everything around us is considered matter, no? Of course, except sa antimatter, no? But everything around us in the physical world is matter. So, soon as you try to understand how this thing is made, no, or how this thing is formed, no, why does it even exist, no? Chemistry yung sasagot na, no. For example, you take a look into your alcohol. You might ponder, why is this liquid, no? So chemistry can answer that, no, because alcohol is a form of matter and chemistry understands matter. Okay, so yun yung gusto ko maalala nyo, that chemistry is the study of everything around us. It can explain many things around you, no? Whether that's just liquids, no, your food, or your even your environment, no, even the climate, no, has something to do with chem. Okay. So, due to the broadness of chemistry, kasi sabi ko nga, this is the study of everything around us, no? We often define chemistry as the central science, no? When we say central science, all sciences, when you trace back all other sciences, mapupunta lang siya sa chem, okay? So, do you think it's true, no? Eh, siyempre dapat true yun na. Kasi chemistry is really the central science. Bakit? Kasi for example, in your field, in biology, when you try to explain certain mutations in one species, no, yung mutation na yun, malalaman mo yun with an understanding of chemistry, no? So, kasi makikita mo, ito yung kanyang protein sequence, or here is the genetic sequence, no? And when you try to get the sequence, that is application of chemistry, no? So, we have many chemistry techniques we use in determining the sequences, especially in proteins, no? So, yun yung sa field ng biology or medical science. Well, for example, punta naman tayo sa engineering, no? Sa engineering, chemistry can be used to determine what is the best mixture of chemicals for, let's say, concrete, no? Kasi yung concrete natin sa bahay or even in kalsada, there is a proper amount of mixture there, no? Some of them include sodium hydroxide, no, as a base, no, in order to protect the metal rebar, no. So yun, ganun ginagamit yung chem doon. So it tries to determine the correct composition for a good concrete material. So yun, and many more, no. So chemistry, ay yung mga bagay sa mundo natin, they are all made of chemicals. So that means we have to apply chemistry sa kanila. Okay? So even the food, no, the carbohydrates, the processes it undergo when you eat them, no. So the digestion process can be explained by chemistry. For clothing, no, especially the polyester clothing, how they are made, no, they are just combined from different chemicals, no. So chemistry can help us explain how they are made, no? Especially the synthetic ones. Ito yung buildings, ito sinabi ko kanina. For buildings, in order to create a good mixture of concrete, basically you just determine the correct mixture of sodium hydroxide with calcium carbonate or calcium oxide, no? So yan, our entire body uses chemistry in order to for us to live, no? And that will be best explained by biochemistry, in your future subjects and medicines, no? Or even vaccines, no? So they're all bound by chemistry knowledge, no? So that means chemistry plays a vital role in many parts of in many aspects of our daily life, no? Okay, so yan. And ano ba yung mga branches of chemistry, no, that help us understand all these things, no? So there are five branches in chemistry. If you are a chemist, no, you have to take all those five subjects, no? And these are the basis, no, if we pass the boards or not, no? So tinitake namin lahat to, no? Okay, so we have five branches of chem. We have organic, inorg, anachem, biochem, and physical chem. Okay, so in your case, no, since biology kayo, what you will understand is the organic, inorganic, and biochem, no, and even analytical chem. Okay, so ito yung mga fields of chem na aaralin nyo. Okay, so ano about saan ba sila? Okay, so let's check. So when you say in organic chem, this is the chemistry that is concerned with carbon-based compound. Okay, and mostly of carbon-based compounds, no, they can be found in biological species, no? For example, plants, humans, no? So lahat yan may mga organic compounds, okay? So this is the study of carbon-based compounds, okay? So yan yung chemistry, okay? So could you give some example of carbon-based compound, no? So ako magbibigay na ako. Let's say cellulose, no? From the cell wall of plants, no? So yan, nasa organic chem yan, no? Okay. So yan. Next one is the inorganic chemistry. So when you say inorganic chemistry, anything not organic is inorganic. So yun lang. So if organic is focused on carbon-based compounds, inorganic chemistry is the field of chemistry that is not interested with that. Okay. So, kunwari, yung kahoy, alamin mo, may organic chemistry doon. Pero, for example, table salt, no? You try to understand the physical form of table salt. How is it formed, no? So, that's inorganic chemistry. Okay? So, it deals with substances that are not considered organic. Okay? So, inorganic chem is the foundation in creating superconductors or semiconductors and even some medicine, no? Okay. So, yan yung inorg. When we say biochemistry naman, so bio, just like biology, bio means life and chemistry is chemistry. So, basically, biochem is the study of life, no? Okay, so we try to understand all the processes that happens in a living organism, no? For example, if you digest your food, the food will undergo several processes in order for it to be converted into energy, no? Such as the glycolysis, Krebs cycle, electron transport chain, no? Plants make cellulose from carbon dioxide, no? They make sugars out of it. Paano? So there are many types of processes, no? Such as the Calvin cycle, no? The light dependent and the light independent processes, no? So yun. So yun yung inaaral sa biochem, no? Basically all the processes that happens in human or even plants, no? Okay. So anything that is living, no, all the processes that happens in them will be studied extensively in biochem. Okay. And you will be taking this by next academic year. Okay. Analytical chemistry, if you ask your if you ask your ate and kuya, no, mga second year, third year na ngayon, ah, babalaan nila kayo dito because analytical chem is quite a difficult subject, no. Why? Because this is the chemistry of analysis, no. Analytical eh. So you're going to analyze, no. Analyze what? Probably the composition of matter and their amounts, no? So yung kasi ang analytical chem, saan siya gawa at gaano siya karami. Okay? And in doing that, no, there are many processes that has to be done and they are typically math extensive, no? As in super daming math na ginagawa namin dyan. For example, I will ask you, how acidic is vinegar, no? So in order to answer that question, you have to do titration, no? Okay. So for example, I want you to know how much other compounds are present in the alcohol, no? Kasi hindi lang naman to alcohol eh, hindi lang to isopropyl alcohol. Maybe it contains methanol, no? Small traces of methanol. So we use analytical chemistry to do that, no? And again, this is a hard subject, no? Especially for non-chem majors. So just be aware that you will take this next semester. Okay? So yun lang. And then last one is the physical chemistry. This is the chemistry not typically taken by non-chemistry courses, no? So when you say physical chemistry, we understand here the physics of chemistry, or basically we just look into the physical processes or the physical principles that happen in matter. Okay. So for example, if our matter changes in terms of energy, no, nawalan siya ng heat, no, or um, gumalaw siya, ayun, physics yan. And we actually try to understand that, no, in physical chem, no. Siguro you may ask now, why do we even bother, no, understanding the physics of chemistry? Because if you know the physics of chemistry, you can actually unlock many questions. Now, for example, if I take this medicine, will my body be able to absorb that? No, so yan, may physical chemistry na papasok doon. So it will try to understand the absorption processes, no, the free energy changes, no, whether that's favorable or not, no. So, yan. So, pero hindi nyo to ita-take, no? Kasi super intensive din yan sa math, especially calculus. Okay? So, those are the 5 branches of chemistry. So, again, just to quickly summarize, we have the organic, which focuses on organic molecules. So, basically, those are carbon-based compounds. Inorganic takes care of the rest. Okay? So, if this is more based on organic carbon, inorganics don't really care about carbon at all, no, so it tries to understand everything else, no, for example metals, no. Ayan. Analytical chemistry, so from the word itself, analysis, no, so ibig sabihin it tries to understand the composition of matter, and it not only determine the composition, no, but even to quantify them, no, so yun yung goal ni analytical chemistry. And then we have biochemistry. Bio means life, no? So this is the chemistry of life, no? Not only specific for humans, but also in other living things, no? Such as plants, no? So ganun. And then physical chemistry, so we try to understand the physics of chemistry, no? How matter moves, how energy moves, no? Because those things have many implication when it comes to um, living things, no? So yan. Okay. So yun yung ating 5 branches of chemistry. And why do we even bother to understand chem, no? Kasi biology kayo eh, no? Kaya nga BS Bio eh, no? Dapat yung chem sa BS Chem, di ba? You might ask, no? Why do we even have to take chemistry in biology? Okay. Kasi just as I told you earlier, no? Chemistry is the central science, no? You cannot understand other fields of sciences without understanding chem, no? Okay. Ito yung kagandahan sa chem. For example, 'di ba, chemist ako. Kapag may research yung ibang field, maintindihan ko. Okay. Kasi basically, yung ginawa nila in order to study that field, no, is related sa chemistry. For example, engineering. No, I have a friend, no, wherein one of his research, no, is on concrete materials. No, tapos nung nabasa ko yung paper niya, may chemistry. So basically, yan naunawaan ko, no. They need to add sodium hydroxide sa concrete because that causes the metal to have an oxidized layer, no, para hindi siya mangalawang. Okay? So ang dami mong pwede magawa if you know chemistry, no. You can relate your knowledge sa engineering, no. So for example, yun na yung concrete, no. You can also understand how solar cells work, no? Yung mga solar panel natin, usually materials engineer gumagawa nun. Pero we as chemists know how that functions, no? Kasi basically, chem yung dahilan ba't gumagana yung solar cells, no? Even the cell phone batteries, no? We understand how that works, no? Because basically, again, everything around us is made of chemicals, no? So in the field of biology, important si chemistry because you will try to understand many processes that happens in living things, no, in living organism, no. Some of you might pursue doctor's degree, no, a doctorate degree in medicine, no. And chemistry will makita nyo that chemistry is really important in that field, no, in medical field. Bakit, no? Kasi for example, uh, there was a person who was poisoned by cyanide, no? So, with understanding chemistry, malalaman mo kung ano yung main antidote for the cyanide poisoning, no? Ano yung pwede panlaban sa cyanide poisoning and how exactly cyanide can cause death, no? Okay? So, chemistry magsasabi nun. Okay? Kunwari, sige, tanungin natin sarili natin, bakit nga ba namamatay yung tao sa cyanide poisoning? Okay? Maraming ganong cases dati eh. No? So, ang primary reason doon is that cyanide can actually hijack the electron transport chain, no? Especially the fourth process in that electron transport chain. Okay? So, yung electron transport chain kasi, as you know it in your high school chemistry or high school biology class, that is the energy extensive part in the metabolism, no? Siya yung maraming energy na pinoproduce, no? So, if you hijack that system, it will cause cell death, no? So, yun yung understanding ng chem, no? Ayan, so kapag naging doctor kayo, you encounter the patient that suffers cyanide poisoning, you know what will happen, you know how dire the situation is, and you will probably know what the antidote is, no? That is if kaya pa, no? So, yun. Um, Another example is yung methanol poisoning. Familiar tayo dyan, no? Kasi last year lang yun eh. Before the pandemic, no? You might be aware that some people, especially in the provinces, no, they died due to cyanide poisoning, no. So, ang ginawa kasi noon is lambanog, no. Familiar kayo sa lambanog? That is a wood, that is an alcohol from coconut milk nata, no. So, ginawa nila yung lambanog, no. Ideally, this should contain ethanol, no. Ethanol, which is an alcohol, no. So, ethanol, ito yung nakakalasing in alcohols. However, if you made the lambanog incorrectly, it may contain trace amount of methanol, no. Okay, so here's the structure of methanol. Okay, here's the structure of methanol. And here's the structure of ethanol, no. Malalaman natin 'to pag nag-organic pa tayo lalo. Okay? So ayan, so this one is the methanol and this one is the ethanol. As you can see, ang difference lang naman nila is yung carbon. So this has one carbon, this has two carbons, no. Pero if you drink methanol, you will die. Okay? If you drink ethanol, you will just get intoxicated, malalasing ka lang. Okay? Pero Bakit kaya, no? Siguro you may ask, no, bakit tayo mamamatay when we drink methanol? Pero kapag ethanol, okay lang. The only difference lang naman is this carbon here. Nadagdagan lang naman siya ng isang carbon. Bakit ako mamamatay? Chemistry sasagot doon. Because we know in chemistry, no, that in the body, many compounds undergo oxidation processes, no. So actually, what happens in our body is that itong methanol, it is being converted into more oxidized compounds such as this one. Uh, I don't know if you are familiar with this, but we call this formaldehyde, no? Oh. Saan ginagamit formaldehyde, no? Kung familiar kayo. Sige, you may answer this question. Sa kaya ginagamit yung formaldehyde? Sa formaldehyde. Formalin. Ayun. Saan siya ginagamit? Ayun. Subject yung binigay ni Kyla. Pero yun, at least nandun yung idea sa preservation of body sa mga patay. Yes, no? So imagine, ang nangyayari, ayun pang-embalsa mo. Yes, totoo yan, no? So imagine nyo, no? What happens pala when we drink methanol is that it is being oxidized in the body to be converted into formalin, no, which is a chemical used, no, to preserve dead bodies, no. Ibig sabihin ganun pala nangyayari, no, na kapag uminom ka ng something na may methanol, naging ano siya, formaldehyde, no? Basically you are drinking drinking your preservatives, no, when you die. And then eventually this formaldehyde will be converted into formic acid, no. Yan, formic acid. Okay. So itong formic acid na to, once it enters the cells, no, it can cause cascading processes, no, that eventually lead to cell death, no. Okay. So yun. I really don't know the exact mechanism eh. Siguro pag med kayo, alamin nyo yan, no? Pero that's the idea, no? So when you drink methanol kasi, it converts into formaldehyde, which is, as you said, formalin, pang ano, pang patay. And eventually, convert pa yan into formic acid, no? And in medicine, ang formic acid is known to cause several irritations sa ating cell, which can lead to death, no? So yan, no? So with understanding of chemistry, no, malalaman mo bakit sila namamatay, no? And eventually that will be your end goal kasi magiging doctors naman kayo eh. So imagine nyo, you will not be able to explain this to the media kasi for sure dudumugin kayo ng media. Hindi nyo ma-explain to sa media or sa mga families affected, no? Without understanding chemistry. Okay. So, ganun ka-important yung chem, no? Okay. So, malalaman mo how exactly the person died and what are the pathways leading to that person's death, no? Okay. So, yan. Kung babansin nyo rin, chemistry is quite, para kang, para kang investigador, no? So, you are looking into possible mechanisms bakit nangyari yun. Okay. Siguro you may ask, sir, paano naman sa ethanol, no? Yung ethanol, it is converted into an aldehyde form, no? And then into carboxylic acid form. Pero it's not toxic, no? So yun, yung body response with ethanol is not so dangerous, no? Because our body sometimes, no, I mean, hindi pala body, no? Other biological species produce ethanol, no? Okay. Primarily from pyruvate, no? Some of them are being converted into alcohol kasi, no? Specifically ethanol. Okay? So normal lang kasi sa biological species yung ethanol talaga, no? Nakakalasing siya, yes. And normally napoproduce siya ng other living things, no? Okay? For example, yung mga yeast, no? Yeast natin. They have the enzyme to convert the pyruvate into ethanol. Siguro you may ask, bakit yung yeast lang ang nakakapag-produce ng ethanol? Bakit hindi tayo? Kasi kung tayo, mag-produce tayo ng ethanol, lasing na tayo every time kumain tayo. Okay? So, yun lang yung downside. Okay. In humans, we do not produce ethanol. Rather, we produce the acetyl coenzyme A, which is used in Krebs cycle. No? Ito yung for humans. Ayan. So, magiging ano siya, acetyl coenzyme A for the Krebs cycle. Pero, di ba mapapansin nyo, when you do extraneous activities, for example, nag-exercise ka na malala, no? Papansin mo, nagka-cramps yung body mo, no? So, you suffer muscle contraction. Bakit kaya? The same pyruvate can undergo anaerobic process which leads to the formation of lactic acid naman. Okay? So, yan. So, kapag aerobic process in the presence of oxygen, we produce the acetyl coenzyme A, which is used in the Krebs cycle. Yun yung normal. However, kapag nag-exercise tayo, onti lang energy onti lang oxygen natin, okay? Kaya nagka-cramps tayo because of the presence of lactic acid, no? So, yan. Tapos, kapag ikaw naman ay yeast, no, you have this enzyme called alcohol dehydrogenase, no? And you convert the pyruvate into ethanol, alcohol. No? So, yun lang. So, yun. Share ko lang yan. Marami pa, no? Marami kayong madidiscover once you really study chemistry na, no? In future subjects nyo. Okay, so as you can see, we can relate chemistry with many processes that happens in us, no? For example, itong pyruvate, which is a byproduct of glycolysis, no? We know maging energy yan in this process, no? Maging cause to ng cramps natin due to this chemical. And for yeast, no? Magpo-produce ng alcohol, no? Using certain enzyme. And we know that not all alcohols are good for us kasi, for example, methanol, this can kill, no? This can kill us by introducing toxic compounds in our body once oxidized. For example, the formaldehyde and the formic acid. Okay? So, yan. Marami kayong masasagot when you know chem. No? You can explain many things when you know chemistry. Okay? So, do you think it is important for us to understand chem? No? So, hopefully, the answer is yes. No? Because many biological processes depends in chemistry. Okay? In the context of pandemic, ito last minute edit ko to. So in the context of pandemic, no, chemistry has been of great help in decoding the genetic sequence of the virus, no. Siguro you are familiar with the thing called RT-PCR. Uh, Yan. So RT-PCR, no. Reverse transcriptase polymerase chain reaction, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So what do we do in RT-PCR ba? No? Basically, you have your protein. Okay. So kunwari, yan yung ating protein. It converts the proteins into sequence of amino acid. Amino acid, building block ng proteins, no. So yan, china-chop-chop niya yung mga amino acid in a molecule, no? So once you know the sequence of the amino acid, you can get the sequence, no? Or actually even the genetic sequence, no? Pwede siyang amino acid, pwede rin nucleic acid, no? Pero in the case of pandemic, amino acid yung gusto natin makuha, no? So bakit kaya, no? Kasi this thing here around the corona, itong crown ng coronavirus, no? Or the spike protein, also called the spike, no? Gawa yan sa protein. And teka lang, malabo mata ko, hindi ko makita yung sinusulat ko. And so, yan, spike, no? S-P-I-K-E. Okay, so itong mga nasa labas ng virus natin, this coronavirus, the thing outside here is called the crown or the Yeah, you have to do the RT-PCR. No? So, ayan. Gagawin niya yung protein niya, i-chop-chop niya yan into individual amino acid sequence. And by decoding the sequence, we can get an idea kung anong variant yan. Okay, anong variant yan. Okay. Kasi over time, ang reason bakit tayo nagkakaroon ng maraming variants ng virus, no, is that the genetic sequence or the amino acid sequence of the protein changes, no. Nagbabago siya eh. Okay? So just to give you an idea, no, last year dinidiscuss ko tong COVID-19 sa students ko. Yung mutation pa that time is the G614D, no. Okay. So I'm not sure if narinig niyo yon, G614D. Ayan. Ito yung tinuturo ko pa dati sa students ko, no? Ayan. This was the first variant, no, of COVID. I mean, ito yung first mutation niya. Okay. Pakita ko sa inyo. Ayan. 2020 pa to, last year. Ito yung dinidiscuss ko sa kanila. Sa intro to chem din, no? So, this is the first mutation of COVID, no? Wherein the glycine, which is G, has been converted into D, no? Which is aspartic acid, if I'm not mistaken, no? So, marami kasing uri ng amino acid. So, imagine, no? In the 614th sequence, yung G napalitan ng ibang amino acid. And ano yung naging result nun? It caused higher cases of fatality, no? Maraming namatay. So because of just a minor change in the sequence, ang daming namatay. Okay? Kasi nagbabagong nag-i-improve kasi yung nag-i-improve yung spike protein over time. Okay? So yan, nagbago lang yung isang amino acid, it resulted to many deaths, no? Primarily because it became more infectious, no? So yan. Palitan mo lang ng isang molecule, ang daming changes, no? Okay? And if you take a look into this Delta variant, let's look into its sequence, amino acid sequence, amino acid mutation na lang. Okay. I'm not really familiar kung meron ako makitang I'm not really sure may makita akong good paper about this, no. Ayan. Hindi, about naman to sa vaccine. So anyway, basta yan, Google na lang kayo, no. Mapapansin nyo that yung changes, no, sa variants ng ating coronavirus, it's just changes in the amino acid sequence, no. Nagpapalit lang siya from glycine to aspartic acid, no, and from others, teka lang. Ayan, so nagpapalit lang siya ng amino acid sequence, okay? So I'm not really familiar what happened here sa ating Delta variant. Ito. So ayan, so ito yung mga mutations sa ating Delta variant pala. So R158G, meaning nun, yung arginine sa 158 sequence naging glycine. Napalitan lang yung isang molecule. We have there the leucine in the 452nd sequence, napalitan siya na into arginine. T, if I'm not mistaken, this is threonine, napalitan siya ng K, which is lysine. Lysine ata yan. So, papansin nyo, ang changes lang naman sa coronavirus is the individual amino acid sequences, no? So, this sequence, ito, lahat lang yan nagbago and ang result niya malala, no? So, Delta variant is the reason why millions have died in India, and currently we are facing that situation now. The 16,000 cases recently in COVID-19, no, that is based on the Delta variant, no. Primary cause niyan is the Delta variant, no. Okay, so ano yung importance ng chem? Balik ulit tayo sa main question natin. The importance of chemistry is with the help of chemistry, we can actually decode the changes in the virus, no? And by allowing us to decode the changes in the virus, no, we can check whether effective pa yung ating vaccines, no. Gagawin mo, i-compare mo lang yung mga sequences natin with the one present in the vaccines, no. Then you can see, no, kung kaya pa ba siya ma-neutralize ng ng vaccines, no. Otherwise, edi wala na. Wala na, mahirap na. Okay. One case siguro yung sasabihin ko is the Lambda variant, no? The Lambda variant, this originated somewhere in South America, no? Nangyari lang din yan due to mutation of the sequence of amino acid, no? So, based on a research, no, pakita ko ulit sa inyo. Lambda variant. Very interesting itong times natin, no? Although ang laking hassle, makikita natin importance ng chem dito. Okay, lambda variant. Pag naghahanap kayo ng articles, ilagay nyo to. Plus journal. I do, no? So that anything na lalabas dyan will be a journal article. Okay? So this is the paper I actually, yung isa yung binasa ko eh. Ito. Kaya siya naka-red. Dati ko pa to binasa. Okay, so based on this study, this paper, they found out that the lambda variant remains susceptible to neutralization by mRNA. So kaya pa naman daw siya in-neutralize by the vaccine. However, meron pa siyang isang research dito eh, na mas matibay nga lang siya compared to the other variants. No? Basta yun yung idea niya dito. So kaya pa siya ng vaccine pero not that much. Okay. So not that much. Yun yung sinabi niya sa paper na yan. Okay. So yun, yun yung importance ng chem sa field natin, especially in these times, no. With the help of chemistry, we can decode the sequence of the spike protein of the virus, and we can design good vaccines for it, no. And yun, further advancements in chemistry or further advances in molecular biology will actually help us, no, to really get out of this mess, no. So we've been at home for 500 days, more than 500 days na, no. So yan yung importance ng chem sa field ng biology. So sa tingin nyo, kasi nagbigay na ako ng idea eh, no? For you, what is the importance of chemistry, no? Bukod sa mga pinagsasabi ko kanina. Okay? So siguro this is a question that you will answer sa test na lang, no? Kasi may quiz kayo next week, no? So yan, you can mention what I said, no? Yung mga amino acid sequence stuff, no? Mga glycolysis stuff, no? Pwede nyo ilagay yan sa quiz niyo. However, I want you to look into more. I want you to look into more applications of chemistry, no? And to help you with that, may nilagay kami dito na ito. May nilagay kami dito na supplementary material. This is chemistry for better health, no? Ilang pages to, hindi mo naman kailangan basahin lahat, no? But this will give you an idea on how chemistry is really applied to your field, no? To the field of medical biology, or let's say biology lang, no? So makikita niyo yung importance ng chem when it comes to human health, diseases, diagnosis of diseases, drugs, no? And what are the other chances for chemistry to improve, no? Okay? So yeah, I hope that in this session you were able to have an idea on how broad chemistry is, and eventually you will see the importance of chemistry. Okay? So ganun ha. So yeah, so that will be our first session. uh, it just took us around 1 minute. No, I mean 1 hour. Okay. So that's the first session, and I hope na you learned something about the branches of chemistry, and most especially the importance of chemistry, especially in the times of pandemic. No? Ayan. So if you have other questions you may ask, I will try to answer it. No? Pero kung may questions kayo about biology, hindi ko alam kung masasagot ko yun. Biology was my favorite subject. Was my favorite subject. However, nung high school kasi, chichismis na. Stop ko na yung recording. Ah, biology was my favorite subject.